Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to NBA Got Game TV. Thanks for tuning in. Before there was a Steph Curry and a Klay Thompson, and even before there was a Ray Allen, there was a Reggie Miller. To us old school fans, Reggie Miller was the best shooter we had ever seen until then. But for some reason, Reggie Miller doesn't get the credit that he deserves. So in this video, we're gonna take a look at the career of Reggie Miller and see how good he actually was. But before we start this video, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. Also underneath the video, you will see a link to our Facebook page. Likes are really appreciated. And I would say without any more blah blah, let's start the video.
Shooters ever to put on sneakers. The more the pressure, the higher percentage he shot. You just cannot count how many big shots that he made. The way he carried himself as a person, on and off the court. He had perfect balance in his life. He's a great teammate. You talk about heroes. He's a guy that all young guys should really take back and look at what this man has done. Hard worker and then a great clutch player.
Reginald Wayne Miller was born on the 24th of August in 1965 in Riverside, California. He was born with hip deformities, which prevented him from walking correctly. At this time, Reggie was far away from becoming an NBA player. After a few years of continuously wearing braces on both legs, his leg strength grew enough to compensate. Once Reggie was able to play, he had to face another obstacle: his sister Cheryl, who would later become one of the best female players to ever play the game.
Cheryl, by far, in the younger days, would just trample all over him. He was just a skinny little twig.
More times than not, we'd come to blows. Oh, and Dad's coming out. Don't you ever put your hands on your brother.
But as their competitions grew fierce, Cheryl and Reggie drew close. Only a year apart in age, they teamed up to hustle kids around the neighborhood in games of 2-on-2.
I asked the guys if they want to play 2-on-2. They're like, well, sure, but, who's your second? I was like, oh, my sister.
And the guys would start laughing, and, he goes, well, since you have the girl, you go first. And that's all she wrote. And then we're walking away. I'm like, now here's your cut, and here's my cut.
In 1984, Miller attended Riverside Polytechnic High School and the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, where he received a degree in history. He finished second in all-time scoring at UCLA behind only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He also holds several individual game records. At the NBA draft, Reggie was not on the list of many teams, but then destiny would take over.
Pacer team representatives here in New York talking to the folks back in Indianapolis about who they'll select. We mentioned that there's a lot of pressure from fans to get the All-American from Indiana, Steve Alford, although the Pacers have indicated he probably won't be certainly their first pick. One of the very talented youngsters remaining in the draft right now who had a tremendous senior season at UCLA and a lot of people project as a potential star in the NBA is Reggie Miller. We have a live hookup in Riverside, California at the Miller household. There's Saul and Connie on the right and left, the mother and father of Reggie in the middle, of course, his sister Tammy sitting on the floor, and on the left, Cheryl Miller. Reggie, first of all, what are your thoughts as you await what's about to happen at this point in the draft? Your name should be coming up shortly.
Well, we'll see.
What are you thinking about right now?
Out here. The first picks seem pretty solid, so I'm just waiting.
Okay, we had some pictures earlier of you and your sister Cheryl playing some pickup basketball there. I guess that that Reggie's now in a dominating position with his height advantage, huh?
Well, he's gotten a lot better. He had a great first year, a great senior year, and I'm really proud of his improvement. And we're just, like he said, we're waiting.
Okay, well, wait and watch. We're going to go to the Commissioner, David Stern, right now for the next selection. Here's David.
The Indiana Pacers select Reggie Miller of UCLA.
Well, we'll call that timely.
We were talking about a real local hero who at that time was being compared to Larry Bird and people like that. And so when we took Reggie Miller, that was a shock to the system of a lot of people here.
Opening the paper and say, Reggie who? Alfred dismayed, booing. I was like, oh God. Great. I'm on the road again.
In his rookie season, Reggie broke the record for 3 points made by a rookie. And 2 years later, he already averaged 25 points a game and was an all-star. He carried the Pacers franchise year after year, but in the playoffs, the Pacers and Reggie Miller had to battle the New York Knicks, one of the biggest rivalries in NBA history.
94 was the Pacers coming out party, but it really started in 93. We had played them in the first round series the year before and lost in 5 games. That's when I kind of knew that we could compete on that stage. You fast forward to 1994 in the Eastern Conference Finals. We beat Atlanta, who I thought was the #1 seed at that time. Now you're going against the #2 seed, the bullies on the block, the #1 media market, Patrick Ewing, Pat Riley, and the Knicks. And you're on center stage.
This is for you, Indiana. We're coming back. Yeah.
What I just said, I wanted to put Indiana on the map. Well, what better place to do it than going against the #1 media market team and the Knicks.
And then things that come with the Knicks, like some of their fans.
So I met Spike a few times. We weren't buddy or cool or anything like that. So we played the Knicks a couple times during the regular season. We caught fire. You know, we beat Orlando, we beat Atlanta. Now we're getting ready to play the Knicks. And I get a phone call, and it's Spike. And he's like, oh, do you want to make a little wager? I'm like, sure, I'll make a wager, because we're going to do you guys. It's like, okay. Well, what do you want? Well, you know, my wife at the time, who was trying to be an actress, it's like, okay, well, put her in one of your, you know, Do the Right Thing movies.
No kidding.
Yeah, and if the Knicks won, he wanted me to go visit, at the time, Mike Tyson was in jail in Indiana because of everything that had happened to him. He wanted me to go visit Iron Mike. So that's kind of what set the stage between he and I.
25-point fourth quarter.
Swings away and hits.
39-point game, June 1st, 1994. What do you remember from that game, and I guess in particular that quarter?
You talk about out-of-body experiences. That might have been the 3rd or 4th time I've had that feeling on the court.
Miller open again.
I'm going to either shoot my way in, or I'm going to shoot us out.
Look at this shot, and he hits it. It's a three-pointer for Reggie Miller.
I started to make my first couple shots at the start of that 4th quarter, and I started to look over at Spike a little bit, and he was kind of, things started to come out my mouth.
And Reggie Miller in an animated discussion with Spike Lee.
The looks, the taunts.
Who again is staring in the direction of, yes, that man.
You know, the finger pointing, grabbing, choking, and magic was born.
Did you ever wonder if he hadn't been sitting there and egging you on, if your performance would have been that good? Or did that fuel it?
I think it kind of fueled it, because when I started to make some of those crazy shots, you know, I almost made one from half court. I'm like, this is like a video game that's going on right now. If it wasn't for the looks and the antics, it probably wouldn't have been the same.
What did your teammates say to you during timeouts? What were guys from the Knicks saying to you on the floor? They had to just be going, holy smokes.
I remember Byron Scott and Sam Mitchell coming up to me with towels and fanning me down. I was like in a different zone. So in timeouts, Larry Brown would be talking and I wouldn't hear it. I wasn't hearing a word he was saying. I was just in my own little world. Let's just go play. I don't care what happens. We're going to do this. And yeah, so I was in my own world.
In 95, 8 points in 8.9 seconds. Walk me through that thing, because that was just like it was like a movie.
Yeah. Look, I was so disappointed and dejected in that game because I felt we had played well enough to win it. We hadn't done all the little things, the rebounding, the loose ball, the 50-50 balls, you know, missed free throws. And it seemed that they were going to win that game. And we were only down 6 points at the time. And I knew if we got a quick three, you know, then they're going to play the free throw game. You know, we would have a shot to win it.
Miller for 3, and he got it.
And I kind of nudged Greg Anthony, and he fell. I didn't know Anthony Mason was going to throw me the basketball again, and I made the 3, so I knew they didn't have any timeouts. When he threw the basketball to me, I easily could have gone in for a lane, but I was like, well, we're down 3. Let me just scoot back, and if I make the 3, great. It's tied up. If not, oh well. So as soon as he got it, one dribble back, I made the 3, and then I think everyone got caught up in the emotion, including Sam Mitchell, because maybe he thought we were down 1, but it was tied up. He fouls John Starks as soon as the ball comes in, and we're running up to him like, what are you doing? It's tied. I'm like, it's okay. It's all right. Because worst case scenario, we could score at the other end. If he makes both of these, we could score at the other end, and we'll just go to overtime and take our chances. I didn't know John Starks was going to miss 2 free throws at home. And then I get the rebound foul. That's where the 8
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
For many years, Reggie would lead the Pacers to the playoffs, always providing scoring and solid go-to guy qualities. He finished his career in 2004 as the player with the most three-point shots made, a record which was broken by Ray Allen many years later. So how good was Reggie Miller? He was the best shooter of his generation and a way better player than he gets credit for. He stayed with the Pacers his entire career, even though he had offers from bigger markets. Simply put, Reggie Miller is a legend. Hey, and thanks for watching this video. We really hope you enjoy our content, and if you'd like to support our channel, you can do these things. First, subscribe to our channel and click the notifications button so you will always be up to date when we upload a new video. And also check out our Facebook page, you will find the link underneath the video. Likes are very appreciated. Thanks a lot.